So I was lucky enough the other day to get access to the alpha from Blizzard for the Battle for Azeroth expansion. Now since I main a Protection Paladin in Legion, I decided to compare how they look and feel in the BFA alpha compared to how they are right now in Legion. As of right now, in Legion, I quite enjoy playing the Protection Paladin, but I wanted to see if I still wanted to continue playing a Protection Paladin or a Paladin in general when BFA is released. I'm sure many people are having the same thoughts about whatever class it is that you're playing. Now I will just start by saying that whatever we look at right now on this spec does have the potential to change since it is not the finished game. So first let's quickly look at what we are losing as a Protection Paladin. Now above my character is my UI from Legion, and below my character is my UI from BFA. As you can see, the one thing that is different, bar the placing of the abilities, is that we are missing the Eye of Tyr artifact ability. Now I'm sure by now everyone knows that we are losing our artifact in some way, but some specs and classes are keeping their artifact ability as a talent, such as a Retribution Paladin for example. However, as of right now, as a Prot Paladin, our artifact is completely gone and is no longer available. Now I really like this ability, as it is or was a strong extra defensive ability on a very short cooldown, which was quite useful in many situations. For example, if you pulled a large trash pack in a dungeon, using this ability gave you a 25% damage reduction from all damage, so both magical and physical. This lasted for 9 seconds. This also acted as good cover for you if you ran out of charges for your Shield of the Righteous ability, meaning within the 9 seconds that your Eye of Tyr was active, at least one charge of your Shield of the Righteous would become available. So I guess the question is, do Protection Paladins actually need this ability? And will Protection Paladins actually miss this ability? Now I can honestly say that whilst questing, the answer to that is no. However, it is somewhat noticeable in dungeons. And by that I mean you just feel like you are missing something. But that is possibly because you have been using it now for so long, and you have made it part of your defensive rotation. Now in reality, it makes no real difference, at least to my playstyle, in normal dungeon content, as I just found myself using Ardent Defender when and if needed in its place. So I just say you have to be a little bit more careful in managing your mitigation abilities. However, whether my opinion will change at higher level content such as Mythic Plus Dungeons or raiding, then that is a different matter. I do think that it will become much more obvious that we are lacking this ability when we do get to that level of content, especially in the 5-man high-end Mythic Plus Keystone runs, when certain affixes will be in play. Your Eye of Tyr was a very good cooldown to use whilst fighting trash with problematic affixes. Now I will say that we don't know what benefits or perks your Azerite armour will provide, so there may be some form of compensation for this later on at maximum level. So we will just have to wait and see how this works out when that time comes. But I do hope that this won't turn out to be a big issue further on down the line. Some other quick changes just to note are that Blessing of Freedom has had its cooldown increased from 25 seconds to 45 seconds. Now this shouldn't really be too much of an issue, at least in PvE content, as it is an ability only used on specific situations. Shield of the Righteous has also been changed. It still has 3 charges, but now when it is used it hits all targets in front of you with holy damage, but it only increases your armour by a percentage of your health. This will increase with gear of course, and it lasts for 5 seconds. Whereas in Legion, your Shield of the Righteous reduced all damage taken by a certain percentage. So it works in exactly the same way, but it now means that our Shield of the Righteous will no longer block against magical damage, since armour only reduces physical damage. We will have to see how this plays out and affects us at endgame content, as it could mean we might have to spec into the Holy Shield talent instead of Blessed Hammer for certain situations to allow us to have a chance at blocking spells. Moving on to the talent tree, and you will see that the BFA talent tree on the left and the Legion talent tree on the right, other than the talents being in a different position on the row, nothing else has changed with the talents. I have to say that I am not too surprised at this, as for the most part a lot of these talents actually work pretty well, and I often would find myself changing between talents especially in the rows 30, 45, 60 and 90, depending on what content I was doing on a regular basis. There are some talents, however, that I would like to have seen reworked or even removed. The two in particular are the level 90 talent, the Aegis of Light, as overall I think this talent is completely useless due to the fact it has a 3-minute cooldown, so it cannot be used often, and any defensive benefit that it does provide only lasts for 6 seconds. When compared to the benefits that the other two talents provide, which can be used every time you cast either your Judgment spell or your Consecration spell, it seems strange that this one would not have been changed or replaced with something on a similar line. The other talent would be the level 100 talent, Last Defender. Now whilst not completely terrible, again compared to the other talents in this row, it becomes somewhat useless. As DPS wise, Seraphim will be the go-to talent, and survivability wise, Righteous Protector will be the go-to talent. So Last Defender does not compare with either, hence the reason I thought this may have been changed in some way just to make it more competitive. Now after all of that, how does it actually feel to play? Well, it feels exactly the same as Legion, which for me is a positive, as I do not think there was too much wrong with the playstyle of the Protection Paladin in Legion, other than maybe being a tad squishy at lower levels, as Paladins tend not to have the biggest health pool and are very gear reliant, but other than that, at least so far in BFA, you will have no issues when questing or doing the dungeons, as it is right now. The key question will be, how do they perform at max level and at endgame content, and to that we simply don't know the answer at this time. But as of right now, if you like the way the Protection Paladin plays in Legion, then you will enjoy the Prot Paladin in BFA. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, please comment, like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.